Hi everyone. I'm so sorry I've been MIA for so long. I've just been so busy with school and work. I've finally just had some time to sit down and make a video, so let's do that. Let's get started. Problem 3.69 is the problem I have with me right now. In the middle of the night, you were standing a horizontal distance of 14 meters from the high fence that surrounds the estate of your rich uncle. The top of the fence is 5 meters above the ground. You have taped an important message to a rock that you want to throw over the fence. The ground is level and the width of the fence is small enough to be ignored. You throw the rock from a height of 1.60 meters above the ground and at an angle of 56 above the horizontal. What minimum initial speed must the rock have as it leaves your hand to clear the top of the fence? For the initial velocity calculated in part A, what horizontal distance beyond the fence will the rock land on the ground? Okay, so as per usual, let's get started on a diagram. And I'm going to draw a diagram right here in the bottom right corner. And so let's say that oh, actually, I think it might be a little bit easier to draw on the right corner. That might be a left corner. That might be a little bit easier. Oh, looks like not really. Maybe, oh yeah, okay. I just made my pen was way too thick. So I'm just gonna try that again. And I have a thinner, yeah, I selected a thinner pen. Okay. So that's us. And we are going to throw at a height of 1 point. So what are we holding? We're holding a rock, right? And we're going to throw this at a height of 1.60 meters. And we said at an angle of 56 above the horizontal. Oh, that's 50. We want 56 above the horizontal. And the way we're going to throw it, I'm just going to use a different color to illustrate the projectile or the trajectory right here, is we're going to throw it so that it goes over this fence. So this fence is going to be 5 meters high. So this is the fence of our rich uncle. And it's so thin that, yeah, the fence is small enough to be ignored. So it's so thin that we can just ignore this. We can just say that it's essentially just like a line. Okay. And this we said is 5 meters high. And we're standing a horizontal distance of 14 meters away. So that is 14 meters. And I think that is all the information we have in the question, and we have it drawn out. So we're good. So now we can proceed to part A. What minimum initial speed must the rock have as it leaves your hand to clear up the top of the fence? Okay. So what we know is that we have some sort of initial V that we're throwing it here with, right? And we can say that dx, so the distance in the x direction, is going to be this v naught times t. Oh, sorry, v naught times cos 56, right? Because we're looking at just, I'm going to do that in yellow. We're looking at just this component right here. So the x component is just going to be this horizontal component of the velocity or the speed or velocity actually, because we have a direction. So we have this speed right over here. So it's a v naught cos 56 times time, right? And that's going to be our dx. That's going to be our distance in the x direction. But we already know what that is. That's 14 meters. So we're going to write that down, 14 meters. And now let's do the same for distance in y direction. So for distance in y, we know that we're going to need a kinematic equation. So this one we just use distance is equal to speed times times or velocity times time, right? So just vt is equal to d, that's what we used. But that's not going to be enough for the y direction, right? Because we also have acceleration due to gravity. And so for that, what we can do is we can rewrite this, or we can write this, not rewrite this, but we can write this using one of the 5 kinematic equations. And the one that best fits this is, again, speed. So we can use this equation v naught plus half of AT squared is, or plus D is equal to 0, right? We can use this equation. So let's do that. Let's make that apply to our diagram and situation right here. So we have V naught sine t, sine 56t, plus half of minus 9.8, which is our acceleration, times t squared, plus 1.6, right? Because that's the d that that's the distance that we're starting at, or the height that we're starting at. So perfect. Now we have two equations, right? And well, we can also write down our other knowns, but not really useful because these are just the two main equations that we need to solve pretty much the entire problem. But let's just write that down because we always write down our givens. Okay. And we have dx already given. We have the fence, right? So we're going to write hf, which h fence is equal to 5 meters. And everything else is already given in the dx and dy equation. Okay, so what we can start off with is we want to find out what is the minimum initial speed that the rock has as it leaves the fence. Okay, so over here, if we look at it, don't we have two equations, two unknowns right here, right? So we have v naught, which is unknown, and we have t, which is unknown. So what we can do is we can either use substitution or elimination, and we can solve for v naught and t. So let's do that. I'm going to use substitution just because it's a little bit easier in my opinion in this situation, right? So we have v naught cos 56t is equal to 14. And then we can just isolate t, right? Because t squared right over here, it's easier to sub in a value than, it's easier to sub in for a value. So let's do that. So we can do t is equal to 14 over v naught cos 56. And we can plug that into, so we have our equation 1, and we can plug that into 2. So plug 1 into 2. Let's do that. Okay. So we can plug that in, and one thing is that we know that since dy is equal to 5, we can write that down right now. So we have 5 is equal to v naught sine 56t, right? So 14 v naught cos 56 plus half minus 9.8, and then t squared, 14 over v naught cos 56 squared plus 1.6, right? And now all we have to do is solve for v naught. Okay, so when I do this, I get 3.4 is equal to sine over cosine is equal to tangent, tan 56 times 14, of course, minus 4.9, and then we have 14 over v naught squared, or v naught cos 56 squared. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. I have to pause this video really quickly so I can do so. Okay, thank you. Sorry, my sneezes are monstrous and I didn't want anyone to hear that. Okay, so now we can solve for v naught. So if we can just multiply it across by v naught squared, right? So we can do v naught squared 3.4 minus 14 tan 56, right, is equal to minus 4.9 14 over cos 56 squared Okay, so when I plug this into my calculator, the value that I get for V naught is 13.3. That's what you should get, okay? All right, so I'm gonna move on to part B, or yeah, so all you have to do is plug this into the calculator and then isolate for V naught. So plug this in and then divide it by this and then square root to find V naught. And I don't have space, or else I would actually do it right here. But what I can tell you is that this term should be about like 3071, a little more than that, like some decimal point above that. And then this term over here, or this should be negative 3071 point something. And then this should be negative 17.35 point something. And then when you divide these by each other and then you square root, then you get 13.30. So that's our solution for part A. So now let's get started on part B. So let me just erase this. Okay. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna write this given. Well, now it's a given because we figured it out, or a known. Actually, I shouldn't call it a given, it's a known. So let's write this known down right over here. That's what we know. Okay, and so now we're looking for the initial velocity calculated in part A, what horizontal distance beyond the fence will the rock land on the ground? Okay, so we know that at zero, at a height of 0, that's when the rock is going to land on the ground. And yes, that sounds obvious, but that's what we can use to plug into this dy equation, right? So if we set the height is equal to 0, then we can, and we already know what the v naught is, then we can solve for the t. And then because we have the time, we can just plug that into this equation right over here, and then we'll get the distance all together, right? And then we can subtract 14 to find the distance just beyond the fence, right? So if that was a little bit quick, let's actually do it when we do it together and a little bit slower and do the calculations as we go. It'll make much more sense. So let's do that. Okay. So we know that the rock is going to land at a height of 0. So let's plug that into our dy equation. Okay. So at height of 0, we have v naught, which we already know is 13.30, sine 56 t plus half of negative 9.8 t squared plus 1.6, which means that minus 1.6 is equal to 13.3 sine 56t minus 4.9 t squared. Okay. And because I didn't go through the last calculation in much detail with you, I'm going to go through this calculation in much more detail. So we have 13.3 sine 56, and we get minus 1.6 is equal to 11.0. Oh, sorry, just okay, 11.026 t minus 4.9 t squared. Okay, so when I plug that into a quadratic calculator, or you can use, you know, the quadratic equation, the two values that I get for t are negative 0.13677 and 2.38739, right? And this makes sense, right? Because if we're at a height of 1.60, then if we extrapolate backwards, by the way, this isn't real, but if we do extrapolate backwards, it makes sense that there's also a negative time when the height was 0. But that's not really the time that we're looking for, right? We're looking for the real time when the rock hit the ground, which is about 2 seconds later. So we know that this is the time that we're looking for. And this is the time that it hits the ground. So now, because we have the time and we have an equation, we have an expression for the distance in the x direction, we can plug in the time for that. So let's do that. So we have dx, our distance, is equal to, our distance in the x direction, is equal to 13.3 cos 56 times 2.38739. And then what I get when I do that is 13.3 times cos 56 times 2.38739. I get 17.7557 meters. Again, which makes sense because we traveled 14 meters before the fence, and then after the fence, we're traveling some distance, right? So altogether, 17 is greater than 14, so that makes some sort of sense. And now let's subtract 14 from that, because they're only asking for where will the rock land on the ground beyond the fence. And so I'm getting the dx the distance that I'm getting is 3.76, so approximately 3.8 meters. And that's your solution for part B. So what's the horizontal distance beyond the fence? What horizontal distance beyond the fence will a rock land on the ground? 3.8 meters. So that's the end of our question. I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments or email them to me. And I'll try to get a few more videos done while I'm still on break. So that's everything. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye.